Hello, Instagram. I've never gone live on here, but I just went live on Facebook and it was fun. So I'm gonna do it on here now. If I just saw you there, hello. I don't know what I'm doing. I also don't know if I will post this after I go live. And like, honestly, this could go one of two ways. Like, we could either sing and have a good time, or we could get real emotional, because I be getting a little vulnerable on Instagram. Honestly, let's do both. That sounds like a good idea. Let's do both. I don't even know if I can post this after I do it, actually. I have no idea. I don't know how this works. I've literally never gone live on Instagram before. Anywho. So I've always been somebody who is very honest about what they're going through. And I feel like as of lately, I've been keeping more to myself. But your girl is struggling. But I've come to a realization that, like, I'm always going to struggle. And I think that that's beautiful. And I'm going to explain that a little bit. So I think that if I'm not struggling, I'm not growing, right? Like, if everything's fine and life seems great and I'm not feeling anything inside of me, then I'm not moving forward. And so, while I wish that right in this very moment life was a little bit more simplistic, I think that I'm going to greatly benefit from the things that I'm going through right now. And that hasn't been like an easy thing to grasp and conceptualize. And I don't even know if I'm making sense right now, because when I tell you, like, I am so lost in the sauce, like, okay, like a little bit of background, like, I was super fucking depressed, right? And I have talked about how I made a decision to go into treatment with, over 2 years of sobriety, right? Like, to get my mental health in check, to get all of that stuff figured out. And I only share this because I think that it's really important to talk about that while the steps are very important, working a program is very important, meeting sponsorship are very important, like top of the list. Like, I do agree that, like, if you don't, if you don't do those things and you don't clean up the wreckage of your past, that, like, you can't build a future. But I also feel like I was a little bit misguided, because it's totally, I think, my fault, that I was kind of sold on this idea that if I worked the steps and I did big book studies and I got sponsees and I stayed sober and I did everything that I was supposed to do, that, like, my life would feel better. And I neglected my mental health. So yeah, like, after saying that out loud, like, it's totally my fault. Anyway, I hit a bottom in recovery, and I didn't know what to do. Luckily, I am surrounded by beautiful human beings who do know what to do, who guided me in the right direction. So I went into a treatment center. I took steps, in the direction that I was told I needed to go in, because I was at a point where I just completely surrendered everything. And while I was at that treatment center, it was brought to my awareness that I was having some issues with food, right? So I took steps to try to figure out, how to get better with the food thing. I ended up in a space where I was even further misguided. I was put on a very restrictive meal plan. I ended up losing more weight. Therapy was fantastic. I did a lot of work with, internal family systems. learning about like the different parts of me and how they work together, how they work against each other, how they all need to be acknowledged. Like, super grateful for all of the therapy. But I came out of that program with a lot of like very strict food rules. And now I am home. I was not supposed to leave, but I left. That's something I'm not going to share why I left, but I left. And now I am trying to navigate life on the outside, and it's scary. It is a scary thing. It is scary to not know, to not know if I can trust the decisions I'm making, but also like know that I can, and that brings me back to what I was talking about with like, if I'm not feeling pain, then I'm not growing and I'm not elevating as a human being, right? Because I always thought that I was going to reach this point of like peace, right? And like serenity, and things were gonna be great and my mind was gonna be quiet. Fuck that. Like, my mind will be quiet when I am dead. I truly believe that every time I feel discomfort, or every time I feel like this deep-rooted urge to change or grow, right? It is because of a pull. It is because of a pull toward my purpose and my like, I'm getting like gassed up, right? So I think that everybody was put on this earth for a reason, right? And I don't think that we always get to know what it is. I really don't. But I think that we're placed in situations and circumstances where like, we're like, whoa, okay, we have a decision to make, and like, this is super fucking scary, right? But I know that if I go left, I'm going to be stuck. And I'm going to be where I always am, and I'm going to be, stuck in this like cycle of sickness. But if I go right, I'm going to be a little bit scared for a little while. But there's a possibility that things could change. There's a possibility that like my life could take a different turn, and that things could get better, or they could get worse. Things can always get worse. Like, trust me, like, I'm pessimistic as fuck. Like, I like, shit can always get worse. Like, and it has, and it does. But I believe that in that, right, like, in the worst is where we develop who we are. It's where we are forged, right? Like, because if I hadn't gone through all of the things that I've been through, which, through this therapy I've been doing, like, it's a lot. I always thought it wasn't, but like, I'm honoring it. I'm honoring my trauma, and I'm honoring like that I've been through some shit, right? But like, if I hadn't been through that, like, I wouldn't be who I am. And I'm starting to really fuck with who I am, Like, I'm a good person, and I could have not been. Like, and I think that's really important to validate. Like, when we are hurt, especially by the people who are supposed to protect and love us and care for us and keep us safe, it would be really easy for us to be bad people, for us to be closed off, for us to not have empathy, to not have sympathy, to not care for those around us. But I think that there's something so beautiful about when a person goes through hell, literal hell, and chooses to love anyway. Like, that's one of my biggest things, is like, I love people so much. I really do. Like, everybody. Even if I don't know them. Like, I say hello to people. I try to bring joy to those around me, because I know what it's like to feel alone. And I know what it's like to feel like you have no one. So even if I could be like this random stranger that people look at and they're like, who is this like who are you, you know? But like, second thought is, it doesn't matter because they made me smile, you know? Like, I love to bring happiness to people, and I love to bring light into people's lives, and like, I have to, like, in the beginning I had to choose to do that, right? Because when I first got sober, like, everything kind of sucked. Like, the first time I got sober, pink cloud, it was lit. I was so happy. Like, my life was listen, I was riding that shit. And then this time when I got sober, I knew how hard it was going to be. I knew that it wasn't going to be like, oh, I'm going to get sober and then, like, I'm going to be able to go, you know, fuck up and not have a conscience. Like, I knew that I was actively making a decision to change my life forever, one day at a time. I forget what I was saying. I got distracted. My computer screen went off. Anyway, I don't even really know what I'm talking about. But it feels good to talk. It feels good to talk. I'm so grateful for my life today. And like, hearing myself say that out loud and knowing on like a soul-based level that I mean it is crazy to me, because the things that I've been through in the last 2 or 3 months, like, I wanted to kill myself in April, you know? And now I'm a different person than I was in April. And, like, that's so cool. Like, and I don't really know who that person is, which is fine. You know, I'm still navigating that. And, like, I'll be a different person next month. And, I just think that that's so beautiful that, like, I have an opportunity to change and grow. And, like, the people around me, my friends, the people that love me, my chosen family, they stand next to me and walk with me as I change and grow. And as I evolve and transform and become who I'm meant to be. Like, and the people who don't. Hi.
Hi.
I'm live on Instagram.
On Instagram? I was watching you on Facebook.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I was gonna sing and then I just started talking about life.
As you do.
Yeah. How was the meeting?
It was great, actually. It was pretty good. We had a moment of silence for Diego.
Nice. Who spoke?
God, I can't even remember his name.
Heard that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Life is wild, man. But I'm here for it. And I think it's worth it. How do I unlive myself on Instagram? I've never been live on Instagram before.
Neither have I, so I can't tell you.
It was a weird time.
Did you end it?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm still live, still doing it. Are you sure you want to end your live video?